of Tory nepotism. This is somebody with no relevant experience whatsoever
running
in the university
free
sector.
schools, and he's written a book on primary education.
As I've just said, he has absolutely no relevant experience in the university sector whatsoever. He's helping to regulate the nation's universities. There are loads of exceptional candidates out there who do have relevant experience, who've been overlooked, but they're not a Tory pundit with strong links to Tory cabinet ministers. It does tell us how this country works, incidentally, that people of very limited ability, because of who they know, can make it to various powerful positions. But the other point is this. Look, the stuff he's accused, well, not accused, the stuff he tweeted and he wrote was not something he wrote as a teenager or in his 20s or in his 30s. It was as a man in his 40s, a professional journalist, who described disabled children as illiterate troglodytes with a mental age of 8 years old, who called for eugenics to be used, to be deployed with children, who obsessively leered over women's breasts, countless women, politicians, celebrities amongst them. He's somebody who's made outrageous homophobic comments, penis breath, for one of them. I can't really say many of them on national television, I've just realised, because they're so outrageous. Horrendous sexual descriptions of women and what he'd like to do to them. This is a man who has made exceptionally bigoted comments repeatedly as a grown man in his 40s, who's been appointed to this position simply because he's a Conservative pundit, he's well connected. And I'll say this quickly, this speaks volumes about the Conservatives. One of the reasons they lost their majority at the last election is because they're on a collision course with the decency and the values of the majority of people in this country. And if they want to show that they're waging a culture war like this, then they're going to end up losing the next general election. They're going the right way. And as I've said, look, Boris Johnson, the Foreign Secretary today, said it's caustic humour to use homophobic and sexist and demeaning comments about women and gay people.
He himself is described as, Toby Young himself, as sophomoric and politically incorrect, and has deleted some 8,500 tweets. But I just want to ask one thing, Owen. You may not agree, and I may not agree with lots of the things that he said, but should having politically incorrect views preclude somebody from having a role in public office? He's not an MP, he's not a religious leader. If somebody may have experience in a pertinent sector, should the fact that they may be racist or may be sexist, and I'm not saying that Toby Jones is either of those things, but his tweets stand up for themselves, don't they? But why should that preclude him doing the job? Because it seems to me that your annoyance appears to be more that he as you describe, a Conservative pundit.
Sorry, you're describing people using terms like penis breath as a homophobic insult, and people who said about anally penetrating women, about describing a gay celebrity who spoke to a straight man that he wanted, and I quote, bum him. And you're saying that these are just political views to disagree with.
No, I don't. And I'm not defending anything at all he said. What I'm saying is, because somebody has expressed some opinions which other people, find reprehensible. Does this preclude him from public office?
Sorry, can I just answer your question? The point I'm saying is that you're saying this is just this is a view. It's not a view. You're saying that homophobia and sexism just happens to be a point of opinion which we just can disagree with or agree with, as though it's I don't know, should we tax the rich more or should we nationalise the railways? They're political views. We may have disagreements. Me and Toby Young happen to have very strong disagreements on all those topics. I know that because I've debated him in this very studio. But that's a separate issue for making comments repeatedly, leering comments about women's breasts, making homophobic comments, and talking about disabled children as illiterate troglodytes with the mental age of 8. And the point is, he's only been appointed because he's a Conservative pundit who happens to be well connected with Conservative ministers. It's nepotism, and it shows the ugly heart of the Conservative Party.
Okay.